Hello. Today I was going to be talking about the implications of being overweight and why that's so unhealthy for us. But changed my mind and decided to leave that video to another day, and instead today talk about something that's been fairly prominent recently, and that's the question of, do I need to eat more calories to start losing weight or to continue losing weight? Now, the reason this can be a fairly complicated area is because the answer can be yes or no, depending on a few different things which we'll discuss. But the reason for either answer is because you end up with the same result. It increases the calorie deficit that you put yourself in. Now, when we look at energy balance, we've got two sides to the equation: energy in versus energy out. And to lose weight, energy in needs to be inferior to energy out. Now, there are a number of ways you can do this through exercise and food, but we're going to mainly focus on the food side of it today. For the vast majority of people, especially those who are fairly overweight or just starting out on any sort of weight loss journey, the answer is going to be no. Unfortunately, you don't need to eat more calories to lose weight. You need to be eating less. Most people aren't at the weight or the body fat levels that they want to be simply because they eat too much food for their activity levels. So for them, it's going to be a case of consuming less throughout the week. Now, it might not be that you need to consume a vast amount less to what you are doing now, but if you are gaining weight, not losing weight, or not losing weight at a sufficient rate, then you are going to need to consume less calories. This doesn't necessarily mean consuming less volume of food. You can still have a fairly high volume of food on a calorie restricted diet through eating a decent amount of vegetables and eating much less calorie dense foods that are so available to us. So why might the answer be yes? Why might you need to eat more calories to lose weight? Now, this is going to be more applicable to those people that have been on a weight loss journey for sort of a fair while. They've seen some good results but have plateaued over the last week or couple of weeks. And just to clear things up, starvation mode is a myth. There's no scientific evidence to show that starvation mode exists. So for those that don't know, starvation mode is the idea that if you go on a low calorie diet for too long, or you reduce your calories too drastically, your body will hold on to the body fat to keep providing you with energy. Now, if you were to eat less and less food, you would continue to lose more and more weight. But obviously that would get to a point where you're eating so little that you die. And I don't know many people that have death high on their, or that would trade off death to look lean. You know, not the most healthy way. So I think we need to go about things in a slightly different manner. Now, when someone that's been on a low calorie diet starts to eat a little bit more food, there are a few things that can happen. First off, they increase something known as NEAT. NEAT is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So basically any way that we burn energy that isn't structured exercise. So fidgeting, bouncing your knee up and down, even blinking. All of these will down-regulate when you're on a low-calorie diet for long enough, simply because your body is trying to save energy. Not starvation mode, it's trying to stop you burning more energy to keep you alive. Secondly, the increased energy intake might mean that you train a little bit harder at the gym, and it might also mean that you decide to, because you've got a little bit more energy, walk home from the station rather than drive, or walk up the escalators rather than stand still. Now, all three of these result in the same thing. So when we go back to that energy balance equation, there's calories in versus calories out. All three of those scenarios increase the calories out. Now, if you've not eaten to such an excess, then those calories out should override the extra calories that you've eaten and increase the calorie deficit that you are in. Another reason why increasing your calories might help you to lose weight is that being in a low calorie diet for too long is a bit of stress on the body. And when our bodies are stressed, we increase cortisol levels, stress hormone, which causes us to retain lots of sodium, which in turn causes us to hold a lot of water. Now, when we decrease the stress and drop the sodium levels from our body, some of the weight we lose may be from water weight. Unfortunately, that's not body fat reduction though. A final reason you might want to increase the calories to help you lose weight is more of a long-term one. If you've been on a low-calorie diet for a while, it can be a bit of a psychological stress. So giving yourself maybe a 1 to 2 week diet break where you bring your calories back up to a maintenance level, just to sort of psychologically reset everything and then get yourself going to put yourself back into a calorie deficit following that diet break. Now, whether you fall into the first category of needing to eat less calories or the second category of needing to eat a few more to help you lose weight is mainly going to be dependent on, as I said, the amount of time that you've been dieting for. If you've just started out and you're not seeing weight loss goals that quickly, then I'd suggest increasing the calorie deficit that you're in. But if you've been on a weight loss goal for a while, on a weight loss journey for a while, seen some good results, then maybe bump your calories up by an extra 100 to 200 for the next week or so and see how the body reacts.